Well folks, the world just got a whole lot more interesting. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, the man who once played a president on TV, is now offering to resign from his real-life gig. And no, it's not for a sweet Netflix deal. He's doing it for peace. You see, Ukraine is in a bit of a pickle. They're stuck in a war with Russia. And their powerful ally, the good old US of A, is being, shall we say, difficult. Zelensky's offer is a big gamble. It's like going all in with a pair of twos in poker. Risky, but hey, sometimes you gotta go big or go home. He's basically saying, look, I'm not the problem here. If my resignation is what it takes to stop the fighting, I'm out. Now that's what I call putting your country before yourself. But here's the catch. He wants something in return. NATO membership for Ukraine. Now, NATO, for those of you who haven't been following my geopolitical comedy routine, is basically a club of countries that promise to defend each other. Think of it like a really serious neighborhood watch program, but with more tanks. Ukraine joining NATO would be a major shift in the balance of power in Eastern Europe. And Russia, well, let's just say they are not exactly thrilled about the idea. So what does this all mean? Is Zelensky's resignation offer a genuine attempt to bring peace? Or is it a desperate move by a leader backed into a corner? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, things are about to get a whole lot more complicated. And you know what that means, folks? More material for me. Let's talk about NATO, baby. It's the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, a group of countries that decided to band together after World War II and say, hey, we're all friends here, right? Let's promise to protect each other if anyone gets any funny ideas. Think of it like a group project, except instead of a diorama of the rainforest, it's the fate of the free world. Now, Ukraine has been trying to get into this exclusive club for years. They see it as a way to guarantee their security, especially with Russia, their friendly neighborhood superpower, breathing down their necks. But joining NATO isn't as easy as showing up with a plate of cookies and a winning smile. There are rules, regulations, and a whole lot of political maneuvering involved. And some NATO members, particularly those with a history of being cozy with Russia, are a little hesitant to let Ukraine in. They're worried it might provoke Putin, and nobody wants to poke the bear, especially when it's armed with nukes. So Zelensky's demand for NATO membership in exchange for his resignation is a bold move. It's like trying to cut the line at the hottest club in town and then offering to pay the bouncer with monopoly money. It's audacious, it's unexpected, and it just might work. Let's be honest, folks, the relationship between the US and Ukraine under President Trump has been complicated. It's like that couple you know who's always fighting, breaking up, and getting back together. You know, the kind that makes you want to stage an intervention but you're too afraid of getting caught in the crossfire? Yeah, that's the one. On one hand, you have Trump, who seems to have a soft spot for strong men and a penchant for making deals, even if it means throwing allies under the bus. On the other hand, you have Zelensky, a former comedian turned wartime leader, trying to navigate the treacherous waters of international diplomacy with one hand tied behind his back. Trump has publicly criticized Zelensky, calling him a dictator for not holding elections during a war. Now, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure holding elections while being invaded by a foreign power is frowned upon in the international community. It's like trying to host a bake sale during a hurricane. Not exactly the best timing. And then there's the whole issue of US aid to Ukraine. Trump has repeatedly conditioned military and financial support on Ukraine, digging up dirt on his political rivals. It's like offering to help your neighbor mow their lawn, but only if they agree to hack into their ex's email account. Not exactly the most ethical way to conduct foreign policy, but hey, who am I to judge? So, there you have it, folks. The world's most awkward dinner party, starring Zelensky, Putin, and a cast of bewildered world leaders. It's a high-stakes game of geopolitical poker, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The fate of Ukraine, the future of NATO, and the credibility of the United States are all on the line. Zelensky's resignation offer is a desperate gamble, a Hail Mary pass from a leader caught between a rock and a hard place. Will it work? Who knows? But one thing's for sure, the world is watching. And judging by the looks on their faces, they're not quite sure what to make of it all. And that's the world we live in, folks, where a comedian-turned-president offers to resign in exchange for NATO membership, while a reality TV star-turned-politician plays geopolitical chess with the fate of nations. It's enough to make you want to laugh, cry, and pour yourself a stiff drink. But hey, at least it's never boring, right? Stay tuned, folks, because this story is far from over.